Hello there! I finally got the free time to do this review, and this is my personal review of Expedition 33 Clair Obscur. Now, I'm dyslexic and sometimes I say exhibition by accident. Don't ask me why. Anyways, let's start this review. Now, I'm going to do this straight raw dog, right? So I'm not doing any editing. So this could either be very well to listen to or very bad to listen to. But regardless, here goes. So, first of all, probably so far it is the best game I have played currently this year. I mean, we're still halfway through the year, so there are still games to come out, but like it by far blows everything out of the water that I played. Now that I think about it, GTA 6 did get delayed, but I know we've got there's a Mafia game I'm kind of interested in, and there's Borderlands 4. But other than that, I don't really know what other games I'm too excited about that are coming out. In terms of RPGs, I guess. In terms of RPGs, this is probably the best RPG I played in like the past 5 years. I think it's up there with like a Metaphor ReFantazio. Maybe better, in my opinion. A bit better. Just a smidge, maybe. They're both really good games. But in terms of RPGs, if I were to compare it, it definitely hits that gold standard for me. Like, you know, Persona 5, Nier, Final Fantasy. And keep in mind, only 30 people developed this game. And they had a few, you know, they outsourced it to like a few Korean geezers, right? To do like the combat animations. But so probably around like 40 people. But still, you compare that to like some of these AAA studios that employ hundreds, if not thousands of people, and they end up making a way inferior product, and they have all this manpower, these resources, and also they have a way bigger budget. So that's something I can't really wrap my head around. Sorry for the dead air, just drinking some water. It's also cheap. Get it for about 40 quid in the UK. If you have Game Pass, you can pretty much get the game for free. Speaking of Game Pass, on the subject, like, if you have Game Pass, like, it's been a really good month for you, because not only did Expedition 33 come out, but also Oblivion Remaster. So, like, you pop Game Pass for a month. I don't know, what is the subscription fee, like 10 quid? Maybe 13 now, it's probably gone up. And you beat both those games within a month. You essentially got two really good high-quality games for, like, 13 quid. I, however, bought them full price on Steam, but there you go. That's an option too if you're like, you know, you're short on funds, or maybe you're not too sure if you would like the games. There's always that option. And if you're a PC gamer, not that I would ever condone such an act of absolute disgust and moral depravity, you can always go sailing the high seas. Matey. Anyways, yeah, this game has the potential to be Game of the Year. Now let me go break it down for you. Okay, I'm going to start with the gameplay. So, I did do a Steam review of this, so I'm going to probably go over some of the points I did in my Steam review of the game. But the gameplay, it's essentially a traditional JRPG formula, right? However, the unique spin on this one is there's actually, you can dodge and parry incoming attacks. Now, I would say the game heavily encourages you to dodge or parry, because I was playing on the standard difficulty, and enemies would hit you significantly hard, right? Real hard. And okay, so this is a funny thing. I essentially made the game more difficult for me without even realizing it. There's this mechanic in the game called Lumina, and essentially what happens is you get these passives, and the more you use these Lumina, they unlock as passives. So I didn't realize until I beat the final boss that I could equip all these Lumina passives. So, essentially, I could have been doing triple, quadruple the damage I was doing. But because I don't know, maybe I missed the tutorial, or I'm just derpy in general, I kind of fucked myself. I was doing way less. I got to the end game, I was like, why are these bosses, why are these enemies taking almost like 5-6 minutes to kill, like in a random battle? And then it dawned on me, because I beat the game and I was looking at like end game builds, because there's a lot of side content in the game, and I was looking at people's videos, and they were like, how are you hitting millions and millions of damage? My Mael can only hit like barely 30k. And then it dawned on me, oh, they were using Lumina as like passives, and I completely forgot that entire system. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent there. That was and in a way I don't really mind, because it did make the game more challenging, which made it more fun. So kind of a win-win situation. So yeah, you definitely want to parry evade. It's just like any game really, you know. Elden Ring, once you fight a group of enemies enough times, or a boss, you know, you study their patterns, it becomes second nature. And I do believe there was Legend of Dragoon. I think that's also, and Paper Mario. Those are kind of like, you know, turn-based RPGs that incorporate like a formula where you can, there's a bit of, you know, interactivity where you can like dodge and parry. It's been a hot minute since I played fucking Paper Mario, like back on the Game Boy Advance, I think. So if memory serves, I think it had that. And I've never played Legend of Dragoon, but I heard it's quite a fun series. Alright, moving on now to graphics. The game runs on Unreal Engine. Surprisingly, for me, the game ran pretty well. Maybe it's because it's more of like, it has like an open world map, but the areas are more closed in, so maybe that's why it runs too well. There are some like Unreal Engine games, the more the open world ones, that do like have real performance issues and stutter. But this game ran really good. Great visuals. If I could give you a comparison, I say it would be up there with something like the Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us, Cyberpunk, The Witcher 3. It's a very beautiful game, and that also includes like the cutscenes, the animations. I feel like every like cutscenes with the characters is all like motion captured. Like the expressions are very expressive. You can really feel like, you know, the happiness, the joy, and then at times the sanger. The sanger? The sanger is a mix of like anger and sadness. The sanger, you can see like the anger and sadness on their faces. It's very expressive, which obviously you need for like a very character story-driven game. So amazing. And also the environments. It's like any RPG really. You know, you got the luscious like green grass fields, and then you've got like this. You got this one level that's like underwater. And you got like this snowy terrain area, and then you got like a desert. Very nice mixture of environments. Okay, now moving on to the music, which is an eargasm, to be honest with you. The music is great. It is superb. It is up there with some of the best RPG soundtracks, like Persona, Nier, Final Fantasy. If I could give it a comparison, and I think I put this in my my Steam review, I said it was like basically the Nier soundtrack, but in French. But obviously, you know, the Nier language is like a made-up language. I think, you know, the French language is a real language, right? Right, guys? But yeah, amazing. There's also some like, so you're gonna have some very like orchestra like type tracks with vocals, and there's also like some jazz music too. Which is, so it's got like a good mixture of songs I really like. Definitely one of my favorite OSTs. It's up there with Nier, Persona, Final Fantasy. Yeah, just great. Like, you can just go on YouTube, type in X Edition 33 OST, listen to some tracks, and like, they're just really good quality. And apparently they found the recording artist of SoundCloud. Yeah, just a random dude off SoundCloud. And they hired them, so there you go, I guess. You don't need to spend 20 years studying at university to get a degree in music. I don't even know if they exist. Maybe they do. Anyways, story. So, obviously this is a JRPG, so the story is essentially the main meat and potatoes of any, like, you know, story-driven game. In my opinion, this game does the gameplay amazingly, the graphics amazingly, the music amazingly, and the story amazingly. Obviously, there's not really much I can say without spoilers. Just that I found it really good. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's one of those games that you beat and you kind of like, it leaves you with kind of like a almost like trying to answer this philosophical question. It's a very deep game. Reminds me of when I finished Nier Automata or Nier Replicant, and it's like you're just like, you beat the game, but then you're just thinking about it for days after. It's like, damn, that was an experience. Characters, all the characters are very likable. They're very well, you know, voice acted. The voice actors did an amazing job. Once again, with the motion capture, very well animated. I mean, it's almost like watching a TV show, honestly. But I can't really go into much detail. I might do a spoiler review, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about with the story, but it would be too spoiler intensive, so I'm probably not gonna do that. So I'll back off it for now. So the TLDR is this: if you are a fan of JRPGs, I mean, I guess this is made by a French developer, so would it be an FRPG? FRPG, that sounds so funny. Oh, fuck you, RPG. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's like the same kind of style. They definitely have heavy inspirations from like Final Fantasy and like Nier and Persona as well, with like the combat system and the way the menus are laid out, etc., etc. But it's definitely up there. I'm looking forward to if this game has DLC. That'd be interesting. If the game doesn't have DLC, that's fine too, because I feel like the game is just perfect the way it is. I would be very, very interested to see the kind of games like this dev team develops in the future, because this is their first kind of like big budget type. I think it's more of like a AAA than a... No, it's a AA title, not a AAA title. So maybe, you know, once, because they've got a lot of sales on this game, so if they decide to make a new game, they have an even bigger budget to make an even better quality game, which is going to be really, really interesting, right? So looking forward to DLC if DLC comes out. And I'd be really, really looking forward to if this dev team make a brand new game, because it's going to be great. So the TLDR is, this game is just fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. I never felt at one point in the story that it was dragging on. I was always engaged, and it's about a 30-hour JRPG. So think about, if I were to give a comparison, it's not like Persona length, where it's like, oh, you got like a 100-hour game. It's more akin to, I would say, Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X is also about 30 hours, which is also a game they took a heavy inspiration from. So it's not super long, it's a decent amount of length, right? You know, decent amount of length. But even once you beat the game, there's also like a lot of side content you could do, like mini games, optional bosses, collecting stuff. So for me, I think I got, well, my Steam says like almost 90 hours. It's probably more about 65, 70, because I have a habit of pausing my game and leaving it on. But yeah, for me to like 100% everything, get all achievements, it was about around the 60-ish hour mark. So that's good quality, especially if you know you're going to get it on Game Pass for like, you know, £13 a month, or even just the standard 40 quid price. You're getting like a good quality product. Like, for example, you got games like, I know it's a bit off topic, you got Doom Eternal that's out at the moment. I think it's Doom Eternal, no, Doom the Dark Ages, and that's like being sold for like 70 quid. And really, it's only like a 12-hour campaign. And it got really low sales. I think barely hit like 1 million sales, which is pretty bad for like a big AAA title. So, you know, people are very kind of like careful with their money. You know, they're gonna go for better quality products with like more playtime, like Expedition 33, or even the Oblivion remaster. You're gonna get a lot of hours out of that game too. I guess they're also all on Game Pass, which, getting a bit off topic, but there's a lot of games on Game Pass lately. It makes me almost feel like a sucker for buying these games full price when I could just get a subscription to Game Pass. But I do like to get all my games on Steam. I like to like actually kind of own my game, which I guess is like an oxymoron, because you don't really own your games on Steam. It's all, you just are borrowing a digital license. Anyway, that's off topic. But thank you if you made it this far into my incoherent ramblings. And yeah, I would highly, highly recommend this game. And yeah, peace out. Have a nice day.